everybody. If you're watching this, thank you. Also, if you're watching this, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. So I'm back for another review of Love During Lockup, Love After Lockup, whatever this is. Episode Cruel Intentions, Season 5, Episode 53. Okay. These people, every time I want to give somebody a chance, they make it so hard for me. They make it very, very hard for me. All right. But nevertheless, I'll probably be back later with some more political stuff. But maybe I should do that to another. Never mind. Anyway. All right. So let's start with Jakima, sorry. Jakima and Donnie, okay? So Donnie hasn't called her in a couple of days, okay? He told you he was going in the hole, all right? Now, we know that. She still just moved there to Ohio. I have my window open on purpose because I had pancakes and then I needed to, like, air it out, whatever. So she met up with Donnie's sister, okay? That is definitely his sister because they look just alike. She's talking to his sister. She hasn't heard from him either, okay? So while she's feeling like she's ghosted, no, he's in the hole. That's why he can't talk to nobody right now. So, his sister says, you know, I'm getting used to the situation. They have her when she does like her little interview or whatever. I'm getting used to the situation. You know, I'm just getting to know her. But this girl uprooted her whole life for him. She was like, honestly, I think it's crazy. And like, his sister is telling you that. Now, this is not somebody who clearly doesn't love her brother, but like, just let that sit, darling. Let it sit. Okay, anyway, the sister was like, I love my brother and you uprooted your life. Are you willing to really wait on him? Thank you. Thank you, sister. Because there is one way I know people like to really, you know, cover for their family and things like that. And I understand because that's family. But at the same time, she didn't disrespect him, but she was looking at her like, did you think this through? Anyway, so Jakima waited until she was like, yeah, we have like plans and stuff, and she's willing to wait on him. And Jakima waited until she got to Ohio at Dave and Buster's or wherever the hell it was, to say she hopes he's not moving drugs because he paid for her move, which was like $1,700. And then he gave her another $1,600 for gas and snacks and whatever else they needed. And then in the confessional, she's like, now that I think about it, it is kind of suspicious. Bitch, didn't I tell you that last week? Okay. Anyway, like, these people are so ridiculous. So the sister, I honestly felt sorry for her, because she was really trying to be nice to Jakima, but I could tell, like, in her sister's face, she was stressed, because it seemed like to me she didn't know that her brother was in the hole, and now she's in front of this stranger who doesn't know a lot but seems to know more than her, and I could read the stress in her face. And as far as I'm concerned, and she looked like she wanted to cry. That's what bothered me, the sister. Jakima, you talking a little too much to his sister to have just met her physically. She is his sister at the end of the day. So I'm just going to need you to roll back on your feelings and what you think about what he's doing. That's still his family at the end of the day. Some of y'all didn't get that lesson in life. You don't ever talk about other people's family, and you don't let nobody talk about yours. Like, you don't jump in. Like, even if your friend is venting to you, like, you don't go and join in. I don't know. Maybe I was raised better. Okay, anyway. He finally calls her. Okay, Donnie finally calls her and explains that he was in the hole. That's why he couldn't call her. I thought I received that message and I wasn't even talking to him. But apparently she needs this explanation. He gets a video visit once a week in the hole, and I said, oh, we're working our way toward being more humane to prisoners, especially since the worldwide United Nations decided that 3 days in solitary confinement is torture. No, we're not going to let you out. We'll let you have a video visit once a week. Like, this is ridiculous. Anyway, so we're going to put you in an extra kind of prison, in prison. First of all, you need to be looking at them guards and shit. That stuff don't get in there on its own. Anyway, so he claims he doesn't know why. He said it's just part of being incarcerated. No, he's just not telling you why, okay? All right? And he's a little too calm about it anyway. I thought he was being calm about it because he probably had some other girl coming to the prison. But I think he's calm about it in the sense that, like, he already knows and has already prepped his story. He is much better at this than, say, Rob. Okay, but we'll get to him soon enough. And so she tells him that she told the kids he was in prison. And he was like, you told them? Like, I didn't want them to know. You know, he said, I mean, because it's not something he's proud of. And I can respect that. I can respect that because at the end of the day, Donnie is not their father, which means the pressure on the mother to try to explain, you know, hey, daddy made a mistake or he did something bad. Because she's the one that's always left holding the bag, having to explain it to the kids. Unless your name is Papoose. Anyway. And since Donnie's not their father, and since you a little on edge about how this relationship was going to work out, I understood why he reacted that way. And he still wasn't like, you know, aggressive or anything, but I'm just saying, I agree with that. Anyway, so he did a good job explaining to the kids what he did, why it was wrong, why he won't do it again. You know, he didn't try to glorify it or anything. And Jakima, don't let those kids call him dad, because he looks shocked. I mean, not like in a bad way, but like at the same time, he knows he's not their father. They know he's not their father. But to call him dad and then you're not sure about what's going to happen with you all is, I don't like that. Like, I don't like that. And I know there are people who don't think that people who have kids should ever give their opinion on it. But I'm going to tell you right now, while I understand that thinking, and while I understand there are things that people who have kids will understand that I may never understand, I do spend most of my life with children that belong to other people as a teacher. And I can tell you right now, all of that stuff affects kids. Because what they can't express to you at home or what you shut down does come out of school. And it does not matter their socioeconomic status. It doesn't. It doesn't. And it has some serious ramifications. So anyway, he tells her that, look, the way things are working out, I may be moving prisons. So he's in a hole and maybe moving prisons. That's already sounding suspicious. And then he hangs up. So she's laying down on the pregnancy pillow. And I only know the pregnancy pillow because I got my sister one when she was having a baby. But apparently they are very comfortable, even if you're not pregnant. But anyway, she's hurt and she said she's angry and she feels like he's withholding information. And all I could say was, girl, go back home. You didn't pay to get up there. So whatever you got in your savings, just send it right on back down there. Go hang with your daddy, maybe at his house. Tell him the truth, confess, get back on your feet, get your job back, and you be all right. But, like, baby, go home. Go home. Just go home. All right. So Sam and Crystal bore me, but it's also very, I won't say entertaining is not the word. It is just a train wreck that continues to happen. You know, a train wreck eventually runs into something and it stops, but it just keeps crashing, smoke, cars. Psh. Anyway, all right. Why was I calling him Tyler for the longest? I was watching it and I just I don't know why, but I'm glad I cleared it up because y'all would have been all in the comments with this. Anyway, so he tells her that he bought her a bunch of groceries. And I said, you can give people groceries in prison? I didn't know that. Like, drop them off or something? And then he says it will be moldy though when she gets back. I was like, oh, okay, this is part of their game they play. So he bought her some shampoo and conditioner and tampons. Okay, essentials, in case she gets out for parole. Why can't you just find out first? Okay, because women's products are not as cheap as they should be. Especially since everybody has a period, or most women experience a period. You know what I mean? And you have to pay for all of these products for something you can't help. And she may not even be able to use them things. Them things may be just like corroded or whatever. I don't know. Nevertheless, anyway, Sam, you're stupid is what my point. Okay. So Grandma Rita told Crystal that he doesn't have a fridge. And she was like, we spent all this time trying to shop for one, this, that, and the other. And I was like, bitch, what? You not paying for nothing? Okay, so he has a mini fridge. His apartment didn't come with one. It wasn't a fully furnished apartment, which probably made it a bit cheaper to move into. And he was like, well, this was more affordable. Let me explain something to you. Grandma Rita, for all he does to help you, the least you could do is shut the fuck up about his refrigerator. Okay? And what difference does it make? You don't live there with him. Although we do get the impression you might be okay with trying to live there with him. If you don't shut how the fuck you gonna have these high ass standards for stuff when you in prison and been in prison for years? What is wrong with you? Anyway, he was like, he essentially bought a mini one because he can't afford a big one. Refrigerators ain't cheap, all right? She is not worth it, Sam. She's not. And I mean that in a literal sense. Like, all this money you spending on her is not worth it. All right, so he keeps trying to insinuate or, start phone sex or whatever. And then he says it ends with her expressing discomfort or not wanting to do it, so on and so forth. And then the producer asked the question that went right through my head when she was like, the same thing I wanted to know. Have you had any girlfriends in prison? Because you got a whole lot of interest in keeping him from having sex or whatever. Her response, I don't consider myself a lesbian, but it's part of the experience. Okay, so she's screwing girls. So while she's satisfied, she's trying to control you. I knew it. I could tell by the way. I could tell by looking at her. Anyway, and don't worry, she got some girlfriends sending her money too. Now, he's sexually frustrated. You think? All right. She is telling him he can't go anywhere or be with other people or hang out while she getting some in prison. The nerve. Sam, I don't know. I don't want to call him Tyler. You're a dummy. All right. So Sam, his friend from Washington State, Cameron, black guy, is visiting him in Texas. All right. That's been his friend since childhood. So he takes him in the car. And the first place he shows him, the county jail where Crystal was originally. Why are these people so damn dumb? Like, why? I don't know if it's just straight up dumbness. They are stupid, but they're also desperate for something. Anyway, so his friend is like, how has he been celibate for 4 years? And he was like, I'm not saying that sex is the priority, but you're going to be doing this for the next 7? For somebody who you don't even know on the outside? Yes, it's wild. It's wild. So Crystal calls while they're in the middle of having fun, of course, because that's what she loves to do, ruin things. She complains about the money he's not spending on her. He has a mini fridge, darling, because he has been spending too much money on you. This man is not making, like, he ain't no attorney. Anyway, if he was, he wouldn't be messing with you either. Now, Crystal, my thing is, he tells Cameron, his black friend, that he spent $100,000 on her so far. He was like, say what? Cameron was tripping on the fact of the same thing I was tripping on, that these people, like, he was like, she got Nikes in prison? I was like, damn, they can just spend this money. The same thing with, what's his face? With the 2 girlfriends. Anyway, I'm not saying people shouldn't have nice shoes, but I am saying $200 on some sneakers, and I know I don't ever spend $200 on a pair of sneakers. Now, granted, I'm a bargain shopper anyway. It can be expensive, but I won't be paying the expensive price. Okay, that's just not how it works. Nope. I do not live above my means. So he says, I know you love her, but do you think she's using you? He was like, well, it's crossed my mind. Of course it has, you dummy. Because she is. Anyway, all right. So Tia and Rob. Tia. I like you enough. I do. And I really want to see you go on in life and win. But the thing about it is, the issue, Tia, is I don't think you're ready for anybody's relationship. I really don't. But I'm just going to start with what we saw. So she's inviting Rob's sister and her cousin to figure out what's true and what's not true. I just kind of refer to them in my head as the cousins, but okay. So she hasn't talked to him since she threw her phone in that good mulch in front of her front yard. So he says in the confessional that he doesn't think they'll lie to her. She's saying in the confessional she doesn't think these two people will lie to her, but they just won't tell her everything. Well, my thing is, duh, okay, because that's part of his family too. But also the omission of information, knowing you think one thing and that he's doing another, quite frankly, is some bullshit. But okay. Girl, run. Okay? Girl, run. Because he has enablers. All right. So Tisha, Toya, the cousins, whoever they are, she calls Rob in front of them. But they don't really know why they're there. But y'all went over. Okay. So she didn't want to tell him anything before he called. But I could tell Rob's cousin, or his sister, I guess, was a little annoyed with that. And realizes that she may have talked too much about where he was going to be. But it's too late for that now. Because now she upset. So she said to him, Rob, this is Tia on the phone. She needs a solid number on when he plans to come and live with her. He sticks with the story he told yesterday, which was 3 to 6 months, which was very different than that 1 month he told her before, and the way the story kept changing. Okay, so I guess he decided this is going to be the lie. Okay. So cousins chime in, the cousin and the sister chimes in and says her cousin chimes in and says, I wasn't aware there was an issue with where he was staying. Now, cousin, I can understand you being annoyed that you're now involved in this and Tia has you on the phone. But Toya, Tia's cousin, how you gonna say you weren't aware of this with them big ass Uno/tarot cards that supposedly predict the future? Girl, don't get mad now. Ain't you supposed to know this kind of stuff? Wasn't you predicting that? You weren't aware there was an issue. You told her about it. Since you be getting voices and stuff all in y'all's head. Y'all some damn fools if y'all believe people who do that shit. Anyway, so she's like, who is living in the Brooklyn apartment? He says, look, she's subleasing the apartment in Brooklyn to me. She'll be in Harlem. I mean, maybe she has a boyfriend. I mean, I commute from Brooklyn to Manhattan every day for work. But like, she have a boyfriend she's staying with? Like, what? Like, there's a lot of loose ends. Okay. Nevertheless, he says if there's any miscommunication, it was his fault. Basically, trying not to throw his sister under the bus for talking too damn much. And that she comes first. And she was like, do I come first? She was asking clear questions. I got to give it to her. But he ain't going to do nothing but give you lies in clear and complete sentences. But okay, girl. Then his sister, which I called the cousin, but his sister was like, look, if she doesn't trust him, they might as well end it now. And Tia's in the confessional saying, I have trust issues, I've been cheated on, and I need therapy. Yes, Tia, you do need it, but you don't need therapy for the reasons you think you need it right now with Rob. Okay? You don't need it for not trusting somebody whose story keeps changing. Okay? That's not why you need it. Okay? See, that's your intellect working. Okay? You're not wrong for being upset about that. He lied. And he's told several lies. And his sister, being his sister, is taking up for him. But my thing is, if your story keeps changing, she's not making this stuff up about why, like, she feels like he lied to her anyway. So we get a break from her, and then it comes back, and we find out Tia doesn't have a relationship with her father. And she was like, it's non-existent. All I remember is that he used to cook good pancakes. And the last time she said she ever saw him was when she was 9. And this man is still alive. And you could tell in the confessional, originally she was trying to act hard, like whatever. And then she started crying. That hurts anybody. And fathers need to do better. I'm not going to even say black fathers, because these people be going around across the country. Men just don't, like, the baby is for the woman, and then to leave her. And then you have all these people in society walking around broke, trying to make men and other women in relationships pay for the shit that happened to them in childhood. Something is wrong with that setup. childhood affects you for the rest of your life. Anyway, so she meets up. I bring that up because she met with her paternal grandmother, Murdy. Grandma looks great. Grandma is gorgeous, okay? And, she said that she's really close to it. That don't surprise me, that the grandmother does her part while the son disappears. Anyway, so she tells her grandmother that she's met a guy or whatever. And she was like, is he a nice guy? And she said, yeah. And then she tells her grandmother that he's incarcerated. And the grandma, I could tell, And her next question was, why? Now, that was about as clear and direct and as quick as I've ever seen anybody get to the bottom of something. And not in like a mean way, like just, we need to address this now. Okay? So her grandmother brings up how she was in a bad relationship, which Tia kind of told us about, an abusive one. She said she doesn't want her to be dogged and mistreated. She said when she tells her stuff like this, it really breaks her heart. And I was like, girl, her grandma was crying and said she lost her appetite. I said, baby, let me tell you something. Break up with him, Tia. He gonna cause more heartache and headache than I think you're ready for. Again. Okay? And you got a little girl. All right? Do not make your grandma cry at a worry. That's enough to break up with him. Women, mothers, and especially grandmothers, okay, because they've lived, have intuition about men and men that come in your life. Listen to them until you learn to listen to yours. Okay, I'm not talking about the people like the Karens, like Troy's mama, because them women don't listen to nothing. I'm talking about real grandmas like Murdy. Okay, people who did what they were supposed to do and raise their kids and have lived. All right, her grandmother, like when she lost her appetite, when somebody in your family has been physically abused in a relationship, somebody you're close to, be it a sister, a cousin, something like that, and they can't leave or haven't left for a while because it's not easy to just say get up and leave or pray your way out of it, it takes a toll on the entire family. And you can clearly see that by how the grandmother was affected, how her cousin Toya was, just wanted to check in on her mental health after all of that stuff. Like, this was pretty bad. So this is just something we need to keep in mind. All right. Kate and Hunter / Kate and Haley, Kaylee, Kate, Kaylee, Hunter, whatever we want to call this love triangle. So Kate is talking to her mother. She told her mother, about him talking to these other women in prison. And she had the nerve to tell her mama, I thought it was just 4 or 5 girls. Now it's like 8. I said, I thought it was 40. See, this is what I'm talking about. Kate, you deserve everything you get because you tried to help him use other people and play yourself in the process. I do not feel anything for you. The difference is the Jakimas, the Tias actually think they the only ones. Okay, so we can feel for them in a different way. All right, so she told her mother once again that it was these girls' fault. They were using sex toys and stuff like that. I said, baby, you are delusional. First of all, you put him into this orbit in the first place, and your man is the one engaging with this, knowing the rules. And we don't even know how true that is, okay? Because apparently he can have visits from the girls he wants to see. So, miss me, and they're not taking anything off his time. He knows that. He's doing that. The fact that your default is to blame these other women lets me know the kind of chick you are and the kind of person you are. You are somebody who does not take any individual responsibility for your own fucking behavior. And you, with a man who's been in jail, who thinks it's funny and cute to use people, y'all are like two sides of the same coin. Except for one is free and one ain't. Anyway, meanwhile, Kaylee is at the sex store, okay? Which is why she thinks she is under the impression they're engaged, okay? She does not perceive it to just be jail talk. She's at the sex store looking to make cheap prison porno, apparently, via their video calls. So, oh my gosh, I would not ever want people to notice about me and to be on camera, and I don't own any of this footage, so I can't lock it away. So she tells her friend Ava that Hunter asked her to marry him. And the friend says, "You said yes?" That had to be the best response. Like, "You said yes?" And then she shows her like this gumball machine ring. And I'm not even trying to play it. I'm just like, did she go and buy something to make it look like they were engaged? Because we know Hunter gets all his money from you or from other chicks. Anyway. So she, her friend says that, "Look, my main issue is that you haven't even been physical together." And I was like, yeah, that is a big issue. But that's how I can tell y'all are young. Because my thing is the fact that that's your main issue and the first thing that comes out of your mouth, as opposed to the fact that he's in prison. She's never even met this man before in real life, should be your main concern. First things first, okay? Physical. She can't, like, what? Anyway, because if that's a red flag, as opposed to the fact that he's in prison, y'all got a lot more living to do and can't do anything. He can't do anything for her. But then again, you are supposed to be stupid when you're young, not when you're older. So you know what? I'm going to let it slide. Okay. So she's talking to him on the speakerphone. I mean, I guess if there's a ratchet place that you can be loud on the phone, I guess it's a sex store. So she's talking to him on the speakerphone. She sent him $200. She sends him $200 a week. I just don't understand. I don't care what happens. When I talk about my money, and it's not just because I live in New York, okay, and pay New York prices, but like, you pay your bills, you put, or have stuff, at least me, put stuff automatically toward retirement, your health insurance, and, you know, an emergency account that you don't touch unless there's an emergency. And I'm just sitting up here like, where do y'all get this money from? I don't care where they live. Where do y'all, like, what are you going without? Anyway, and she claims that dating him has been expensive for the past 5 months. Duh, bitch. Anyway, let me do the math. So let's just say, even if we're just going off 4 weeks, even though there's some months with 5 weeks, so let's just do that. 200 times 4 times 5. You've already spent $4,000 on this man. And I don't think sending people gifts in prison is tax deductible. Anyway, so he took that $200 and spent it on sneakers. And she was like, "Are you saying you need more money?" And he was like, "Yeah." She was like, "F you. I'm not sending you any more money. You chose to do that." He said he needs food. She was like, "You should have thought about that." I'm like, first of all, I'm sure in prison you need snacks and the food isn't good, but food is a priority. You having shoes that cost $200 is some bullshit. All right. Anyway, so she points out that this is why people look at their situation like, you know, he's using her. Yeah. He claims since he has been seriously dating her, though, this is what he's telling us in the camera. He's not using her anymore, even though it started out that way. Okay, first of all, Hunter, you said one of the things you like about her is that she's financially stable. Okay? Cut it out, sir. Cut it out. All right, so Kate meets up with her friends, right? And she's just now telling them that she signed him up for the website where he could have fake relationships with women for money. First of all, Kate has these 2 black friends, okay? These 2 black girls are her friends, right? They kind of give lesbian tease, but that's neither here nor there. But I'm just sitting up here like, baby, Kate don't even look like she know a black person. But apparently she got 2 black friends, and I don't know, you and Sam, I think y'all must know that when you tell your black friends that kind of stuff, they're going to tell you something you don't want to hear, but you kind of want to hear it because you know you need to. And that's what I'm getting from this situation. All right. So she tells them, about the video calls he's been having with other girls that are in trouble. Did y'all catch it when their friends started singing "On My Video Phone" from Beyonce Sasha Fierce album? Anyway, I went to that concert. I am Sasha Fierce. Anyway, I cracked up. But anyway, Kate didn't get the reference. All right. Meanwhile, Hunter is calling Kaylee to acknowledge that she's mad about this $200. Okay, while Kate is out with her girlfriends talking about Hunter like he's just her man. All right, and he manages to say some bullshit to make her think he's not using her. Okay, girl. Okay. So then Hunter tells us the difference between Kaylee and Kate. So he's telling us, he's giving us the pros and cons of each one, like he's somebody to want in the first place. Okay. So he says his usual type is small, petite, blonde snow bunnies like Kate. That doesn't surprise me at all. Okay? And Kaylee is not his usual type. We can tell. All right. So, he said, but Kaylee is sexual. We have phone sex. And, Kate is against that stuff. She's a bit more mature. Okay. So Kaylee, maybe you didn't get this lesson. But, while you are a mixed race, you are still black to those white people. And these holdovers from slavery about how white men and, quite frankly, though, how black men will treat black women, and that there's something to be used sexually, not to be taken care of nor respected, is what you're experiencing. Because you could be a white girl doing all this stuff and it wouldn't be the same thing. Okay, I'm just going to tell you that right now. And the fact that he describes Kate as mature and you as not, and you being a very present person for him to use and manipulate, it doesn't sit well with me, but you're a dummy and you're not going to get it. All right, anyway, so he says he thinks they're still in the honeymoon stage and Kaylee spoils the shit out of him and he loves it. Okay, so Kate, to me, like I said, she has these friends who are telling her what she needs to hear, because they are like, why is it so hard for him to break this off if this was just, for money? And they were like, red flag. I was like, shit, prison's a red flag. But her friends were like, he's using you. Kate's friends were like, he's using you. And then that other friend said, she was like, if she was pimping him, honestly, I wouldn't mind. But I'm not feeling this arrangement. And quite frankly, this arrangement is not realistic. Her expectations are realistic. So she goes on the phone with Hunter. But at least she went in the bathroom and talked to him on speaker instead of sitting in that restaurant talking loud to somebody in prison telling all her business. Oh my gosh, the lack of couth. You know what, Hunter? Maybe you are right. She is more mature. Anyway, instead of talking loudly on the phone in public. So she, like so many weak chicks, went straight into telling all her friends to her boyfriend about how they're skeptical about this, that, and the other. And I don't know how this is going to turn out. He got 6 months before release. How long is this show? Do we get to see this? Because I am curious as to how this is going to work out for all of them. Anyway, that's all I got to say about this. I'll talk to y'all soon. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah.